joined EXP in 2019, and it was the best decision that we made that year. If you have questions on what it's like to be at this brokerage, reach out to us. Happy to chat. Let's get to the content. Welcome to the Solution of Real Estate podcast, where myself, Phil Sexton, and
Jeff Seabuck
come to talk about ways to put the consumer first. And sometimes, Jeff, today's topic, which is how do I find a mentor? I'm a realtor. I'm a real estate agent. I'm in the business. How do I find somebody that is going to help me in my business? And not just help me, but help me put the consumer first. And now, pre-show, Jeff told me that I remind him more and more of Mr. Rogers. So I feel like I should have some sort of, I don't know, slogan. So welcome to the neighborhood. Is that better than welcome to the party? Welcome to the neighborhood.
All right, good deal.
All right, let's have a talk.
Okay, so first I want to distinguish the difference between a mentor and a coach.
Okay.
Right? Because you said, how do I find a mentor?
Yes.
Right? And then, because I think in real estate, just to kind of give us the backdrop on this, is it's hard because when we come into the business, we are educated by a broker.
Yes. Oh, we're going that route.
Well, I agree. I don't want people to be confused.
Well, I think that agents, when they join a brokerage and they have a broker, they think in the beginning that is a mentor.
Right. And I think that is where I want to draw the difference, is because in our world, I always like to give the analogy, if you wanted to choose someone to teach you to do something, I always like to compare it to sports, right? Because like the announcers are Charles Barkley, one of the top 50 players ever, Shaquille O'Neal, who won 3 championships, and Kenny Smith, who won championships, who excelled at their sport. And of course, there's a guy that talks to them with them. But in the real estate business, forget me for saying this if you are a broker, but it's weird that how do you become a broker if you want to manage agents? But what the challenge of it is that brokers stop selling and they support agents. And why would you stop selling if you were selling at a high level? Like for instance, we never chose to stop selling, right? Because why would we become a broker? Because we would make less money, not more money. So if you had the capability of making more money, you wouldn't become a broker, but only if you found a cap in what you could do. But as you're looking for a mentor,
I'm not going to just let you pick on brokers this entire time. I'm just waiting for you to pause.
Well, you're a son of a broker. You're a son of a broker. All right,
I got your back, brokers. Don't worry.
No, they have a purpose.
I think that's where I'm about to go, is that there are people that we have talked to in this business that have multiple mentors, because I could have a public speaking mentor. I could have a marketing mentor. I could have a risk management mentor, a la the broker, right? Like the broker mentorship for risk management is real.
Okay. Yeah. Except I just called him my broker, not my mentor.
Fair enough.
Right? Like to me, Jim Sexton was your dad.
Yeah.
I guess if you're also must be a fan of giving every kid a trophy when they lose. Like your son, when he plays soccer, should he get a trophy for participation? Because that's that's where
but I guess okay, fair enough. So you want to define mentor?
Well, that's what I said, is I wanted to define mentor. To me, it's yes, you need one, but it's already falls under your broker, right? Like to me, because the broker gives you at EXP, we get a mentor, right? Mentorship. Right? Like it's
okay. Yeah, you don't call him call him a mentor.
But. No, but what is it called? The mentor program, is it not?
Oh, for a new agent.
For a new agent.
Expand a mentee mentor program.
Right. Yes, but because they already have a broker, right? Like, so the mentor is something that, wouldn't they just have a broker program?
And he calls me an SOB. At least my B stands for broker. I think though,
I'm just trying to make my point.
Yeah. No, I agree. But hey, on Sports Talk Real Estate Radio that we have here,
okay,
we have to debate, right? Because I've got Marge Lindsay, for example. She's like I still view her as a mentor.
Okay, she was my Binzer mentor. She was
Yes.
the best at like, yeah. All right.
So, and because we have different answers on where you find a mentor, slightly different answers.
Obviously.
I think that in this industry, it is good to develop relationships with people that do things different and better than you.
Right.
And
Okay.
I think that those people become mentors. If you like, I didn't set out to have Russell Shaw be a marketing mentor. I set out because I wanted to, because he worked down the hall and I just had a relationship with him. And then it evolved into a relationship where then I started going to him with marketing questions. And I met his wife at the time, Wendy, right? And Wendy became a business mentor of sorts that we still quote. Even though I wasn't necessarily looking for a mentor, I was looking to establish relationships with people that did respectable things that I wanted to get to.
Right. Good deal.
That's my I
guess I don't even know what the definition of mentor is. To me, it was just, I was looking to me, how do I find a mentor is what you said is first thing, I look for people that are doing things and have achieved things that I want to achieve.
True. Let me give you, let me build you up here.
Oh boy.
You ready?
Oh boy, here it comes.
I would argue that there are people, and I know it because we've been told it, that listen to this podcast and say, thank you for your mentorship.
Well, because it's free, because coaching is paid. That's the difference, really. I don't, that's the only difference is if you're accepting guidance from somebody and you take notes and you do all the stuff and it's to me, because mentorship just describes a dedicated relationship to listening and executing the things that they give you versus just like, I listen to Gary Vee and he's not my mentor. Right. Although I listen a lot because I'm not like, it's not, I mean, is Gary Vee a mentor? Is our bald-headed friend that's really good at marketing is
Seth Godin?
Seth Godin, is he a mentor? Right? No, because what it is
he doesn't. Yeah. No,
it's,
I don't know.
well, what it is to me, what designates a mentor is that you meet with them on a monthly, quarterly, or yearly basis. Okay. Makes the definition of being more,
you can't be a stranger. You actually have to have a relationship.
Yes. With them. Right. So, well, we have a relationship with the people we talk to. So that's certainly gray area. Yes. Right. Like,
yeah, but sometimes, I mean, like when I think about the class that we taught this week in EXP's,
I am odd if they think that we're mentors, and we want to be that way. So
no, our goal in doing the podcast is so that we can help them in their business. Which I think, if you have a relationship with somebody that helps you in your business, then that could be defined as a mentor. Although I don't think of listeners as mentees.
I just think that the mentor usually knows a lot more about the
subject.
A subject, and gets to know you. As well.
Got it.
Right? Like to me, because of you text Russ, he texts you back, he sends you interesting photos, right? Like
that sounds wrong.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
He had
surgery
He's a funny
of
guy.
His head, and he sent that to you. That was weird to me.
But okay, sorry. That was a gnarly scar. But anyway, I think of actually one of your mentors, because back to what I was going to say, in our session this week in the Seabuck Home Selling Series, right? Our 8-week session that we're doing for the EXP agents. We're on week 7, and it's talking about intangibles and accountability. And we told stories about 3 mentors, and one of those mentors was a past client. Not even in the industry, but yet they were a business mentor for you. You paid him though, so did that make him a coach? Am I miss?
No, I mean that when I wrote him a check, he had to be one or the other. I mean, a coach I think of is a more committed like it wasn't a contract for a year that he was going to serve me. So I gave him more of a mentorship because I went to him to learn from him. And that's essentially the beginning of a mentorship is I was like, you sold a company for 120, more importantly, not selling a company for 125 million, but he netted out 20+ million.
Yeah.
I was like, that guy's good. Like I want to be that guy.
Yeah. I want to have a relationship with that guy.
Yes. Right. Well, because I find that too often in real estate, and why we're having this podcast is that people too often mispick their mentorship.
Okay.
Right? I think that too many agents listen to people that are not successful. It's kind of like how I goaded you to come work with me, right? Because you were the director of marketing.
Yeah.
And somebody might have had you as your marketing guy. And I'm like, well, you never paid your family off of the success of your marketing. Now you do.
Yeah.
Right. So now you're good.
I think that we should renegotiate my salary on here. The other one that I was thinking of though is that sometimes, like when I think of Todd Bookspan,
okay,
also a mentor, even though he's a lender.
Well, but I didn't at the time think of him as a mentor. He gave me game-changing advice.
Yes.
And he pushed me, which led them, because the thing is mentorship has to have some accountability into it. And that's where the relationship with the JB? Audience is kind of, I mean, JB, because he came to our training, actually, we are tied to his success. So we're truly vetted because we want JB to sell so that EXP hires us to train more people. So that's a lot closer in that relationship because it's a committed relationship. They're coming back to us. They ask us questions. We give them feedback. Like, I think that's definitely, in the mentorship.
Does a mentor-mentee relationship have to always be a win-win? Is that a piece of it as we're defining it?
Well, to me,
because for JB, let's say that JB comes to the coaching program and then he ends up tripling his business next year. Win-win. Because now
it's only a win-win if he sends us a check from his profits. Oh
no, not.
I'm teasing. I was kidding.
Okay,
it was a joke.
Do we have a laugh track, Adam? Okay. Oh, but the win-win is that, like, I think about the relationships that you have. I mean, how about this? Do you think that there was a win-win for Todd Bookspan in helping you grow your business?
Yes.
Yes, undoubtedly.
Not Tim Porthouse.
Except you paid him directly. I know. I mean,
well, okay. Well,
Russ gave me a graphics program, and he literally said to me, "The only reason why I'm giving you my license for this is so you can teach me how to use it."
No, but Russell was putting on those classes. I went to those classes. We built a relationship because we went to the same mastermind group, and then but he did it for his ego build. I guess that was.
That's okay. We do things for our ego. There's things we do for ego as well.
Okay.
And just because we enjoy it. Really.
Yeah. No, okay.
Like, there's actually a piece of giving back that brings satisfaction in your day.
Well, I just think that the industry of business has, the giving, too many people want to give back when I don't know that they should be givers.
There's no laugh track needed for that.
Right. Like, well, no, but the thing is even when I look at the coaches in the business,
they shouldn't be givers.
They shouldn't be givers.
Some of them should not be givers.
So the talk today is about them being more critical of who they allow to be their mentor, because if it's not clearly that you got a distinct advancement from the relationship, I don't know that it was a successful mentorship.
So if you're a new agent in the industry, do you recommend then that they reach out to the top producer in their office and take them to lunch?
No, I don't actually.
Right? Because that guy's busy and he's going to say no. And then what?
No. You should always try. I got no problems with it. You can't learn enough. To me, it's like, do I want to ride a dirt bike? Okay. So when I'm 6 and I've never ridden a bicycle before, should I be interviewing? There was a Kawasaki driver when I was a kid. His name was
Carmike?
Jeff.
Bubba Stewart?
No, Jeff.
Good.
Does anyone in the audience know?
Let's go Bubba Stewart.
Okay.
Bubba Stewart's legit, right?
James Bubba Stewart.
Right? Like,
professional dirt bike rider that wins races, right?
One of the best.
One of the best.
Okay, yeah. So, all right. So
the 6-year-old isn't going to go take him to lunch to figure out how to ride a dirt bike.
Yeah, it's just
he's going to get on the bike.
Right. Like, to me, the thing is early on, because there's in real estate, really, until you can get through I'm going to call it a hump, because we see people sometimes not make it over it.
Yes.
Is that you can start to sell a couple of houses. Really, you just need the broker, and you need to me, the thing is they haven't learned that they have to take notes yet. So they have no chance of keeping any of the knowledge that we give.
Well, then they need a mentor to tell them to take notes.
Right, but they're not going to listen because they're agents.
Oh, you're
right.
jaded.
What's the t-shirt?
Write less down is what the t-shirt's going to say. And then underneath it, in the like footnote of who said that, it's going to say, nobody ever. That's okay. That t-shirt's on sale now at somewhere.
Yeah, no, I think here's the thing is it's kind of levels of mentorship, meaning early on, yes, in that case, we'll go with the brokers, their mentor early on. I think that they should have somebody that at least has sold 20 to 30 sales as a mentor in that early, but the hard part is then that person wants to remain your mentor. And the reality, and that's where I wanted to get to with this conversation, is that you need to move on from that relationship.
I think that one of the points that I want to make in this conversation is that you don't always need to have a formal relationship to have a mentor.
Agreed.
Right? Like you can go and ask somebody, you can have a relationship with somebody that you bounce a few things off of that turns out to be one of the most impactful 8 conversations that you have in your first 5 years in the business, even though there wasn't a mentor-mentee relationship.
Okay.
Like I've called people mentors before they looked at me as a mentee. Like I don't need to be their mentee, even though they were my mentor.
Where I wanted to go with this conversation today was kind of speaking to because the period of time that we went through from 2012 until 2000, when did we stop interviewing people? 16. Okay. So that 4-year process.
I mean, even at Inman, we had targets and that was like 18.
Okay. So I want to talk about that because I think that was massively successful, right? So to me, but they weren't mentors.
Correct.
Right. So what Phil and I did, if you want to come in close, no, is that the way that we targeted because the challenge is that I think that people can fail because inside a mentor, that person has limits. And I think that, to me, I don't know that one person is going to have everything that you need.
No, right? I agree with that. You actually want to find somebody that is like one level up.
Well, or two levels up.
Two levels up. And then you got to find somebody new that is one level up or 2 levels up. And it's not.
But I just want to talk about the strategy that we were using. So what it was is when Phil and I joined, I had begun the process of interviewing elite agents from the top 50 in our marketplace. And then I tried to strategically pick them based upon their area of specialties. Right.
And area of sales.
Both.
Yeah.
Both. Yeah. No.
Because we weren't always meeting. In order to get the meetings, you couldn't be competing with them on listing appointments.
We specifically targeted outside of our competition range so that we could actually get real, true information. Because the challenge is that when you do this, you interview the guy that, you
lost to,
right?
Like, hey, will you be my mentor?
Yeah.
He doesn't know.
Well, no, or he's like, sure, but then he doesn't share or she doesn't share. Probably a her.
Yeah.
No, just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but it's harder for them to give you everything because you're competing with them.
Yes. All right. So I'm gonna take a turn here that I didn't prepare you for.
How about we ask the audience if they got any questions first before you continue talking?
Hold on. My wonderful point I'm about to make is going to come after this commercial break. Let's pause.
All right.
And we're back. Thank you guys for hanging on there with us.
Thank you.
That was a good commercial. That was
we lost no one. That was great.
Less funny than the last one.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh.
No laugh track there.
Okay.
But what were you gonna ask the audience, Jeff?
No, I just want to know if they have any questions or comments or any challenges they have. Are they reaching out to trying to find a mentor?
What's the chat say there, Adam?
Miguel says, okay, this means I've never had a mentor.
Interesting.
Right. So that good. Thanks for coming, Miguel. We encourage it highly, right? Like to me, the thing is it's good to have a relationship with someone that, and the challenge is that not all, it's hard because sometimes they'll only do coaching, right? Like to me.
Oh, I got another curveball. Now I got 2 curveballs for you.
But Miguel, to me, it's just what neighborhood, what area do you work in?
On the west side of Phoenix,
Okay, so roughly how many houses do you sell a year?
about 15.
Okay, so where do you go when you want? I mean, do you next year? Would you like to sell 20 or 25, or what's your goals for next year?
My goals for next year will be at least 25.
At least 25. Okay, so where are you getting the advice other than our relationship here to help understand the things that will challenge you, things that were growth areas? Like, where are you getting that knowledge now? You're trying to get it through books, or you're trying to listen to CDs, or sorry, podcasts?
What do you mean the growth areas?
How are you going to know what to focus on to double your sales?
Well, I've been trying different ways of advertisement. What helped me 3 years ago, it doesn't help me now.
We
So
agree.
I've been
So
trying different ways.
where do you get, okay, so give me an example of advertising that you didn't do the year before that you're doing now, and then tell me how you came across that idea.
Well, the first time 3 years ago, I had never advertised before. So
None.
a rep,
Good.
a rep from a title company supposedly taught me how to advertise on Facebook. And I spent $30 on the targeting. When I was doing the targeting, I find out groups. So I became member over 300 groups.
Wow.
So I started advertising just on the groups, and I was getting at least 1 to 2 deals a month just on my ads, free ads.
What kind
And
of
it
groups were they?
Just normal groups for any kind. I mean,
Like the cancer support group, or
the Dachshund owner group?
yeah, it could be anything
Oh,
that
what it could be. What is it? What is an example of a group that you joined?
most of them were for community groups, sales, advertisements, and I was searching for groups on Peoria, groups on Glendale.
So like Litchfield Park Homeowners Association, was that a group, something like that?
Yeah, there's groups like that.
Okay, but was that groups that you advertised to?
Yes.
Okay, good. All
But
right.
he said free. So then you would go in those groups and you would post like, I'm a realtor.
No, you will join. They ask you, a couple of questions, so they accept you. Once you're accepted, you can advertise.
Oh, so then you pay for the ads to show up in that group
No.
because you're a member of the group.
No, it was free.
Oh, so it's not an ad. It's just you posting who you are. Oh,
Yeah,
it's like
I
a
was just
networking group.
posting my information.
Got it. I've actually been seeing some people these days post things like, hey, are you a small business in the area? We'd like to support. Post a link to yourself down below.
Okay, I haven't seen that one yet.
Okay, but go on, continue. You were saying, okay, so you put these ads in that was working for you and it stopped?
Yes, the first year it was great. The second year, I started getting restricted. It was a day, 2 days. The worst, it was 2 or 3 weeks. So I was like, man, what should I do? And I start asking people, supposedly experts, and they told me, basically they catch up to you and they want you to pay. So I went back to targeting, and last year and part of this year, I've been doing target, and probably.
Why didn't you just pay? Why didn't you just pay if it was working?
No, at the beginning I didn't. At the beginning, I didn't try target. I tried once, and I learned, and that's when I found the groups. And after they started restricting me, I went back to targeting. Targeting versus the groups is less than half of what I'm getting on clients.
Okay.
I'm
So,
spending money now.
all right. So the more important, back to the mentorship idea though. So you went to a title rep and they taught you that it started to work and now it didn't. Now where did you go to try and find new advice?
No, I'm just most of them are being title reps and the mortgage reps. Like they've been telling us to do videos.
Isn't that
Yeah,
interesting?
well, I know,
There's a lot
I
of-
think that's very common, but
Yes.
to me, my challenge is that title reps don't actually do the marketing themselves. Like to me, I don't like receiving that advice that I see mostly from Target, contradictory to the Todd Bookspan example.
Yeah.
But most of the time, unfortunately, they're giving the same advice to all of your competitors.
Yeah, pretty much.
And that's not that's why I think what happened is they probably overloaded those groups then because they recommended 7, 10, 20, 30 people to do it. And then they crossed each other. And then now they, like Gary Vee said, marketers will wear anything out. And then it ended. The success ended just like email now, right? Like the email marketing is a tough, unless you're email marketing to realtors, it doesn't work.
Marketers ruin every form of communication.
Yes.
That should be a T-shirt. We should.
Right. So I'm glad you came. 'Cause
Yeah, thank you for
You're
the
exactly who
participation.
we're looking for. Because to me, it's just my recommendation is actually for you to find someone that's, and you can find it from your title company. Is find out who or go to. Do you use the Crawford report?
No.
Okay, because the Crawford report has actually, you know what? If you send me an email to jeff@cboc.com,
Okay.
I'll take a picture and then I'll show you who the elite agents are, and then reach out to, because the idea is that as you build relationship with somebody, they start to give you a little more quality information is what it is.
Okay.
I agree.
Versus
That is-
somebody that's given, because the problem about title and mortgage, they're not actually doing it themselves. And that's my argument, is that why would we listen to them when they're not doing it, right? Like they're just saying, I heard this from somebody, I heard it, like, and
If it was so successful, they would do it themselves.
no, actually, if it's so successful, the person would not have told you about it.
Oh. All right. So let me ask you. Back to my.
Do you understand that point though?
I absolutely
like
understand that
if
point.
if the title person said, well, my friend the agent does this and is really successful at it, I'm sure that they didn't share all their secrets if they were successful with the title person, because they knew that they were going to then, because the title and mortgage people give out all the ideas to
Okay.
everybody else.
All right.
So-
So tell me then how being an agent owner of EXP Realty has changed your opinion on that.
I have a vested interest in wanting, because now I own a piece of EXP. I have a vested interest in helping everybody sell more houses, because then my stock's going to go up because I'm buying a shit ton of it.
Isn't that an interesting take on the mentee-mentor relationship though? Where like now the
Well, it's
advice
what- it's-
given
it-
is different
No,
because there's a,
but
even.
Well, you
there's a
know it though.
benefit.
When we went on the coaching program, we're giving it like as
I'm with you, but what you just said was contradictory to that. That's why I want to make sure that that you at least make the point.
Well, you got to understand the motivation of the person and the skill of the person giving it is where I'm at.
Yeah.
Because the harder thing is to me in a mentorship is I want that person to have, fought the war. Not the somebody that watched the war happen and describe, like to me, the problem is there's too many people that watch things happen and they want to tell you the way it was, versus if you interviewed the guy
That actually did
that
it.
actually did it, he'd be like, oh no, I actually made a left because of this, not because of that. Although from the outside, because they don't know. They don't know.
It's JB. Hey,
Maybe it's up.
so you guys, obviously, if there's a financial incentive like you're describing for EXP, it totally makes sense for you guys to commit. But you're talking about going out to the elite agents in your market or nearby or just out of the area. What's in it for them? What's in it for the mentee? Because if I'm going to divulge the family's jewels to someone, tell them how I do marketing, how I solicit new clients, how I
Great
do
question.
better at open houses, I do not understand entirely what their motivation is.
What
Well-
the mentor's motivation is? Is that what you mean?
The mentor, right? Not the mentee.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, the
Good.
thing is we were just reaching out to them to just say, hey, I wanted to, do you have a chance to, can I just buy you a cup of coffee or a thing? It was not,
We had to buy them lunch. That
We had
was,
to buy-
there was
yeah.
first of all, that
We-
was one of the
we
things that
always
was
bought
done
them
for them.
lunch. So at least they were getting a free upscale lunch, JB. And you would be surprised how many agents will take a free upscale lunch just to chat.
And
right?
they come in a defensive mode, which we expect.
Right. So we have to prepare better questions. But the reality is that's why if you're a newer agent, you're not going to get the meeting. You have to be at least at a level. And our pitch was to them, we're growing because they're not.
We were good at things that they weren't good at.
But
That's our pitch to them,
right.
is that we're going to share with you.
You have to have a skill that is you have to first, because to me, it's why you can go 3 levels up because they're not as intimidated by you. Because we were interviewing at the time, we were doing 20 million, and the people we were interviewing were doing 60 or 70. And it's kind of like Zillow was not afraid of Open Door for the first 3 years. Like once they got to a mass, then they were like, okay, that's a competitor. Now we're going to, I mean, it's the same, but you have to have something that you're offering them that's I mean, to me, it was really just one, there is a thing in real estate that they want to give back. And as long as you show that you're a good human
I think
and that
about-
you're trying hard, and that's why it's key to target people outside of your immediate composition zone, because they'll help you out if you buy them lunch and like, hey, I see. The thing is you got to feed their ego, JB. Oh my God. Our title person said, because remember we went down and interviewed a gal that was she was a blogger.
Yeah.
And the reason we went to interview her, because she was getting listings from blogging and she was really gaining steam. And we fed her ego super hard. And we had a chaser to get, I mean, don't get me wrong. It's not like you text these people and they go, oh, I'd love to meet with you. Like you got to chase them like they're a lead.
Well, yeah, we're in sales.
Yes.
So you have to sell, right? But I was actually also thinking of when you're
Are
doing
are we answering your question, JB?
Yeah, sorry, I was on mute. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is the key. I'm not afraid to approach anyone to ask the question, but there's horse trading involved, and so you guys, relatively new in the industry, 2012 or whenever this was, you're going to the top 50 agents, and what were you trading?
We were good at internet marketing. So
Okay.
we were converting Google pay-per-click leads, and we figured most of them weren't. The one in the Southeast Valley, we just never competed against them, and we were growing, and she was growing, and we
Let's trade notes.
just said let's just trade notes.
Yeah.
Got it.
But we had somebody that was in Manhattan Beach who wasn't doing the same level of business that we were doing, but they still had nuggets, right? When you're even when you're doing 20 million, I mean, like JB, I know you've got nuggets that you may look at something a little bit different than we look at something. Like there's still things.
Yeah,
that you
different
can bring.
processes,
And
different.
when you come to the table and you are able to present or dangle carrots to us or like say things that we want to know more about, then we're interested in having a conversation. You know what? Yeah, let's share listening to presentations.
I mean,
for
here's a nugget.
marketing
Here's a nugget.
strategies.
The thing is you got to have a stat or two that's gonna wow them. Like ours was last year, we converted 15 million in internet leads, and we'd like to share that with you, right? Like there has to be, or maybe you're like, you know what? I won 90% of my listing appointments last year, and I would like to share it with you. If you give me an idea about how you farm, right? Like something that you have, or I double-sided 12 deals last year. I'm really good at sign calls, right? Like, or just whatever you have to be good at. You're a good agent. But you have to know your stat, and then you have to get it to a sellable point, just like you were trying to sell a buyer or a seller. But you're committing that agent that you're dangling them a carrot of, I'm good at this. I'd like to teach you, as long as they teach you back.
Yep, that makes sense.
Awesome.
Good. I love that question. Thank you for the
Yeah, that was a
interaction on
great. Yeah, that was awesome.
I feel like we actually got there with that question on the title of our podcast.
Yes. Yes. No, well, the thing is
Sometimes 30 minutes in, we need the audience to say.
And the reality is 30% of them are not going to respond to you, right?
Yeah.
And you have to make it easy for them.
It's
and,
just like leads.
and you can't ask them during the height of the peak season. It's usually better in the off season. You do got to dangle, like you got to kind of follow up in the right way, or you leverage, like, to me, the two relationships that you would love, or three relationships that you would leverage is your brokerage, right? Because our first mentor was Russ and Joanne Calloway, and they were at your dad's brokerage, right? So I leveraged Phil's relationships to get in every door, because his dad had a ton of respect in the Valley, and we leveraged that relationship of his father. It's like, we're both with John Hall. Like, you have to have something, or to me, you would just go to an event where they're going to be and then hear them speak and be like, oh my God, I heard you, like, and don't ask them for lunch at that moment, but just, hey, I wanted to ask you a question. Oh, hey, can I buy you lunch? Right? Like,
Yeah,
but
so
the point is that the title relationship that you have, instead of Miguel asking the title person, ask them if they work with any elite agents that they could then talk to, right? Like, because they're like, oh,
no, but okay, let's give them another one.
What?
I think they're good. They understand what you're talking about there.
Or
But
a
when it
lender,
comes-
yeah.
But when it comes to the conference, when we were going to the conferences, we would
What he's
look
talking
up
about when he says conference, we were going to Inman's conference.
Inman or whatever. I don't care what conference it is. When you're going to, but a real estate related conference, and you can look up people that are going to be there because they were either, I mean, in our case, there was people that got nominated as one of the most innovative real estate agents in America, or one of the most innovative real estate teams in America. And so we would look those people up and we would
target them. We would go, we would introduce ourselves, we would try and make rapport with them, and then we would just buy them a drink. I mean, hopefully next year we'll get back to going to conferences, but that was a very successful way to meet. Because the thing is out of area,
easier.
They share free. I mean, there's more details, right? Like, there's more and more details that they will share because they know you're not competing. They give you all right, I'll give you this one.
And they're just these little nuggets that come across that you don't know at the time how valuable a sentence is.
Let me give you the nugget. Wake up and be great.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, so we're going to the conference, and this guy at the time was on his way to be great.
What was his name?
Mark Spain.
Oh yeah, Mark Spain. Yeah.
So he's now ranked in the top 5 of agents in the U.S. for volume, right? Out of 1.4 million. He's reasonably decent at this.
He's great. He's great.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
great.
Dominant, right? Like, I think they did a little over $1 billion.
So he's nominated for most innovative real estate sales agent of the year. We're nominated for most innovative real estate sales team of the year, or team, whatever.
Yeah.
And we both lose, right?
Yes.
And I'm at the bar next to him. We're ordering our loser drinks, and I said, well, maybe we'll get him next year.
But the thing is, we knew that he was still great because we looked it up. We educated ourselves.
He's a killer.
Right. Yeah. He's a killer.
Yes.
And he was just out drinking in the main contra area. And when he walked up, you went up and go ahead.
And I said, maybe we'll get him next year. And he looks over at me and he goes, wake up and be great, man. Wake up and be great.
And I'm like, that's fucking dumb. Oh, sorry. I apologize if your kids are listening. But when Phil came back and I'm like, what did he say? And he's like, wake up and be great. I'm like,
and we should have t-shirts that say wake up and be great.
Yes.
I mean, now we say that. Right?
Yes.
Like, wake up and be great.
Right. Because it was more of
that was gold, even though when you hear it for the first time, you're not like, oh my God, that is gold. But when it sinks in, when you get back home and you're like, that was it.
Yeah.
Is he now my mentor? No, but that was gold.
No, we wrote it down. We went home and thought about it. And I'll tell you.
And here we are 3 years later, still talking about it.
It's funny. Well, even just to transcend it into another industry, we usually don't do it, is I was listening to sports radio and they were talking about Kyler Murray, the quarterback for the Cardinals. And the analyst said, he's got to learn to be a professional, that he has to be great on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, not just Sunday. Like, he has the skill and the acumen, but he's got to counter with being ready for them to be great on the other side. And then he has to up his game. And that's when we really just started to execute at other levels of like, okay, this is a war, and it's a war of attrition, and we're going to win.
Nice. All right, last curveball that I'm going to throw your way. I think I know the answer, but would you consider do our team members look at us as mentors?
We're their coach.
Okay.
They're paying us.
Got
So the answer is yes. I mean, to me, when the agents, that I guess have the average agent that joins our team grows by 300% their business after 1 year. I hope
it's
so.
a coaching relationship.
It's a coaching relationship. They're paying for it, but it's still a mentorship. I think that
because they come to me with, I mean, back to the original thing that we started with is that you don't need to, it's not like you need one mentor, right? You can have multiple different mentors for different subject lines because they ask you questions about comps and they ask me questions about anything other than comp, like not realtor questions. They ask me more marketing questions, website questions, mailer questions, database questions, tech questions.
Yes.
Whereas they need,
well, you're nicer. You're nicer.
Fair enough. But mentorship in a sense, even though yes, we are coaches.
No, we're both. Yeah. All right. Questions, comments.
Thank you guys for coming out today. I'm going to say thank you. And if there's no comments from the audience, our public Zoom room, if you guys are listening on the podcast and you want to join our public Zoom room where we've got 9 people on the screen with us in this virtual pandemic that we're in these days, you can go to cboc.com, our website, click on careers. And there's actually a link at the bottom. You can type in your phone number and we'll send you a text message whenever we're going live.
And if you're listening to this podcast and you think that we're doing a good job mentoring you, we'd love a review. As many stars as you want to give us, we'd be glad to get them. And
no. We want 5.
Okay, we want 5 stars. All right, give us 5-star review because we need them, right? Because we're trying to get the word out. Thank you for listening. JB, you got something? Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, David. Good to see you, man.
Good
see
to
you on
see you, David.
Workplace.